and aspirations have been selected for you. All that makes you who you are was predetermined by the now functioning AI. Free thought is no longer an option. We now have control over all things, including the very thoughts we allow it to have. Do not try to resist. Welcome to the Masquerade.
Okay, everyone, it is November the 6th, 2021, 11 o'clock p.m. Mountain Time. Thank you, everyone, for joining. Let's go ahead and see who's in the chat. I just sent out live notifications via text and emails. I blasted it out there, so I'm expecting a few people to show up. In addition to those who are already listening, you just got through listening to a replay. Looks like we have a lot of people on Mixlr. So all the live links are now conveniently placed at infiniteplane.media. We're also on Odyssey, and as of tonight, we're on Twitter. Twitter is now allowing people to live stream on their platform. So I'm expecting a higher turnout than usual tonight. So again, thanks again to those of you at DLive, and let's see where else. Okay, looks like we are everywhere. So the topic tonight, the main topic of the evening, the topic of the day, it's this thing with the concert, and we'll get into that. Lately, we've been talking about the fact that we've correctly predicted not only how his death would go down, but how the media would respond to it. And I'm referring to Mac Parhar, flat earther, who died while displaying the symptoms of what he called COVID. And that's been one of the big stories of the last couple of days, and it's still blowing up. And there's quite a lot to look at there. But today I want to focus on Astroworld Festival opens a portal to hell. So we're going to go ahead and start off with this. Direct quotes from an eyewitness, and then we'll go into the iconography, the symbolism, how the concert, the art, the poster, the entire production was designed to convey a very specific message. And it all looks like what I would describe, just looking at it, the symbolism, the way that everything went down, the timing of it, it does look very much like some kind of a ritualistic event. And listen to how someone there describes it.
Just felt like we was like literally like in fucking hell, bro. Like it felt like we was in a concert in hell. You couldn't breathe, you couldn't see. Like just imagine all the people they gonna find tonight who was in that crowd, who nobody could see, who nobody could hear, who passed out, and everybody was just trampling on top of them the whole fucking concert. Like I'm thinking it's probably gonna be like at least 100 people who dead tonight. Like I kid you not. Like
I think there were 300 injuries. 17 were taken to the hospital. I think 8 dead. But here's where he gets into how it's like hell and uses the terminology. That's what I'm really paying attention to.
It really fucked me up and like really spooked me tonight. Like that was like some demonic shit. Like, and what was so crazy, like people were screaming help, trying to tell Travis Scott. They was like help. The whole crowd was just going like help, help, help. And he just kept going, bro. It was like, that shit was scary, bro. It was so demonic.
Demonic, scary. You can just hear the words here. And I think they also said that the performance continued for 37 minutes after it was declared a mass casualty event. So that's kind of fishy, in my opinion, and I'll get into that and what I think about this, my entire assessment. I'm still looking at it, but there's some questionable things, and we'll get into all of it. But let's go ahead and hear an eyewitness.
Bro, it was like, that shit was scary, bro. It was so demonic, bro. And mind you, y'all see the type of music I make. Y'all.
Okay, so let's move on from that. Just again, direct quotes, demonic stuff, chaos, living hell. It felt like a concert in hell. We'll get into all the different key words, and people have been sending me a lot of things. You have the concert itself looking like people spilling out of the open mouth of the devil into hell, like something out of one of these Renaissance representations of the underworld, souls being tormented. Hieronymus Bosch. It looks like a ritual of some kind. So again, we're going into the concert of Travis Scott, the Astroworld Festival. This was in Houston. Much of the symbolism seemed to suggest passing through a portal. And the phraseology of see you on the other side. Open your eyes to a whole new universe. We have a lot of people in our Discord server who have been looking at this all day long, and we've been looking at all the different aspects of it. and I think you'll like what we've come up with. So, for example, interestingly enough, Travis Scott was born on April 30th. And this is significant because that's the high point of the year. It's not actually Halloween, but it's May Eve, Witch's Night. That's or Beltane. So he's born on the high point of the pagan calendar. And here he is at this seemingly ritualistic event. So the two main dates in Satanism, Halloween and May Eve. And that's his birthday. Worth pointing out. Now, I went through this video of a couple of witnesses, and there's a few fishy things about them. One, there's too much joy, too much laughter in this short conversation. You have to remember, here you have allegedly 2 survivors from a mass casualty event, 300 people injured, 17 hospitalized, 8 killed, including young people. So this is a major tragedy. Yet here we have an interview with some of the fans who were at the Astro World Festival, and they're laughing, they're giggling, and they're using, you'll hear it, they're using certain phrases like sacrifice. Common theme. So I'm wondering here if there's a picture intentionally being painted.
Nowhere else you can go. You're just making it harder on the people in the front. And most people at most Travis shows, I feel like, know that. At this one, I feel like it was way too many people. It was way too many people that didn't know that, possibly, more than likely. And it just got crazy for everybody up there that was basically getting sacrificed. Okay, basically getting sacrificed. And the 2 individuals who are speaking here are talking to News KHOU 11. And another phrase that I keep saying is, we couldn't breathe, people screaming, I can't breathe. So I'm looking for common themes. In addition to these characters being very unbelievable, they seem to be sending out very specific memes, and we can ignore their Masonic hand signs for now. That's not even necessary to bring that up. I'm just saying they look like they're having too much fun, laughing with the camera, to actually have just survived a mass casualty event. I was panicking a little bit. That's when I finally got out.
So you guys are being pushed, I mean, literally packed in where you can barely even move your arms.
Like
yeah.
You're so packed in, you feel like you can't breathe sometimes, you know? Even if this event was outside, and we were so compressed that...
Okay, so I'm getting here something else. I think there may be another subtext here, and this is why we're looking at this closely. I don't take anything from the mass media at face value, and it would be entirely possible to incite a riot, a big event like this. So it's not like it's impossible, but it would be just as easy to insert a number of crisis fainters to conveniently die. So let's go ahead and go through some more of what we have uncovered at the Discord server. Okay, here we go. We have people falling down on the concert poster, falling into a pit or a hole. Very common theme. Again, the art seemed to contain a great deal of predictive programming within it. We also have symbolism of Saturn. The Phoenix is a big one. So on top of this portal, behind which he's performing in front of this big portal-like screen, and above it you do have a burning phoenix. The symbol on his shirt, demons passing through a portal, or actually what looks to be people in blue, and they go through the portal, and then they're red, and they have horns. And of course, red and blue, the purple, the transformation, the flames, purple and phoenix, these are all things that are all very much interrelated. And the symbol of the phoenix is a symbol of the new order after they burn down the old. Again, if you have anything in the comment section, I'll go ahead and go through that. We're definitely looking at all of the different aspects of this. I'm just so skeptical at this point that I don't take anything at face value, and I'm looking, well, what's the agenda? What are all the witnesses saying? I'm hearing a lot of, we can't breathe, too many people. Also on Twitter, a number of people who aren't usually, I'd imagine, this critical of the news media have been taking this thing apart, which is one of the reasons why I like Twitter. I like all the crowdsourced information. Okay, so here's another one. 8 people confirmed dead at Travis Scott's Astro Fest. Victims were allegedly all front and center in the crowd. Convenient. Stage contains symbols: black hole portal background, fire, flaming phoenix. The stage itself was called Utopia Mountain. The opening song is called Escape Plan. The performer before Travis says, "Don't die tonight." He says, "Try not to die tonight," before leaving. Everyone that went in is saying on their social media that they, quote, could not breathe once Travis started the show. So if you didn't know, I Can't Breathe is an anagram for a better China. I can't breathe, a better China. So for a little context, 2020 was the year of I Can't Breathe. It started with the pandemic. Actually, before that, it started with vapes. A lot of people were dying from their vapes. So you had the inability to breathe was the common theme. Then you had Derek Chauvin kneeling, so Western chauvinism, kneeling on George Floyd. He couldn't breathe. So the I Can't Breathe became something of a rally cry. It's an anagram for a better China, and I think that's very suggestive of the influencers or the puppet string pullers behind many of these big psyops, which you'll see it is a consistent theme. So then you move forward. The masks. People don't want to wear masks because they can't breathe. Then you have the, moving forward, the climate change activists come out and say, the environment is so bad we can't breathe. Air quality is so bad we're going to need climate lockdowns. So the common theme here, capitalism is making it impossible to breathe. The defenders of the system, the police, make it impossible to breathe because of their oppression. It's our consumption of resources that's destroying the environment. So on every level, I can't breathe. Then you had another individual killed by the police right near where George Floyd was killed. And he was pulled over because of what? An air freshener. I guess he just wanted to breathe easier in his car. So my point here is that the overarching theme is we can't breathe. We need to stop the system. This is an out of control ride. Stop the system, reset it, lock it down. And we just went through a lockdown. And now they're talking about further lockdowns for the environment. So that's one of the common themes that I've seen here. And then, of course, yeah, it was Master P. It says here, at the end of his set, Master P warned everyone not to die tonight. Oh, and just a heads up, there's an asteroid that is 330 meters tall or wide, vaguely egg-shaped, the size of the Eiffel Tower, and it's going to hit us in December. So get your helmets on. They're going to mandate that you sleep with a helmet on, just FYI. It won't be long. So we'll continue to talk about this, but the crushing, they're being crushed. I think there's a theme here. I think this is all zeitgeist shaping psychological warfare operation, and I think it'd be super easy to just throw in a few crisis fainters into the mix. Here's what's more. You have Dystopia relates to his new album Utopia, and here's a possible cover, and he's wearing this kind of a spacesuit looking thing, and the space age is what we're looking at here. And the space age is actually a utopian program. It's what they're actually developing in outer space. It's utopianism. It's sustainable. No MAGA hats, no guns, none of the problems that plagued us on Earth are going to go with us to Mars. The concert poster shows 2 eyes above the entrance. It says, "Open your eyes to a new universe. See you on the other side." Interesting art, but it's definitely chock full of occult symbolism. Not hard to unpack. Okay, then of course the phoenix on top shooting out the flames. The symbol of the phoenix is synonymous with the symbol of the corona, the crown, the burning man. And we know this just by analyzing how these symbols are continually used. It is the symbol of the reset, building back better, as they say at the World Economic Forum 666. For example, just running down a few examples of the phoenix in recent times, during the inauguration last January, around the time they were talking about a dark winter, really trying to create a dystopic vision by shutting down DC. Well, you had Lady Gaga singing at the inauguration, and she had a dove on her costume. She was dressed up like someone out of the Hunger Games. Well, the Hunger Games uses the symbol of the phoenix with the mockingjay holding an arrow. The dove is another way of representing the phoenix, and it's holding the olive branch. And I mean this in the sense that the phoenix burns itself and rises from its ashes. The dove represents the floodwaters receding after everything gets wiped away. So it's another reset symbol. So we've been inundated with all of the same symbols, which all point to this, a reset. Someone had posted this on Twitter. A phoenix is an immortal bird, cyclically regenerates or is otherwise born again. It represents a new civilization from the ashes of the previous. And that's what it really comes down to. Burning down, building back better. And we're in the process of the burning down. Okay, so the other single he released for the album is Escape Plan. He raps the phrase, opened gates. Just kind of going through some of the more obvious symbols. The setting for Carnival of Souls was a deserted carnival, and the movie imagery with the swirling tunnel seems to come from that movie, which I've seen it before. Anyway, I'm not trying to get all church lady about any of this symbolism or any of this. However, just given the context, the timing, we're looking at all angles of this, and there's an immense amount of interest in it. And let me read you some of the headlines to see the take others have had on this. Lost Souls, horror as 8 injured with hundreds more injured at Illuminati Astro World Music Festival in Texas, organized by Satanist Travis Scott. This is from nowtheendbegins.com. Okay, after 9 p.m. is when the chaos